Right now, 5 federal authorities say 2 hospitals that denied a woman an abortion broke the law.
We've got another sunny and somewhat breezy day for us today. We'll take a look at that forecast and when we're expecting rain chances coming up.
Also, a Lamar bathroom is vandalized, causing frustration with city workers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Carrie Worthen.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's another chilly start for us out there across the area, but warmer weather is on the way and more much needed rain is also on the way as we head through the rest of this week. MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line, looking back to the south, looks pretty good so far. Same from that KDOT camera at 69 and 400, just south of Pittsburgh. Taking a look at our camera at 7th and Range Line, looking good as well, but chilly again. 44 in Joplin right now, clear skies, feels like 41. The north-northwest breeze at about 6. We look at temperatures around the area. We got 43 in Lamar and Carthage, 45 Pittsburgh, Chanute, 44 Neodesha, 37 in Miami, and we're kind of chilly out there still. We're going to be a bit breezy as we get the day started. Now, the winds shouldn't be as gusty as yesterday, but they'll still be pushing upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour. So that still leaves us with an elevated fire danger today. We'll otherwise be sunny yet again, pushing into the upper 50s by late morning, and we'll be a little bit warmer today than what we were yesterday. So we go into the mid to upper 60s. So again, not as windy as yesterday, but still breezy. Otherwise, sunny skies, a pretty pleasant afternoon for us, and another chilly evening ahead of us as well. We remain clear. The winds will begin to calm like they did overnight last night. They'll do that again tonight, and we'll eventually drop back down to a low right around 42 degrees. Now, we still have rain chances as we head toward the end of the week, so we'll take a look at that. We get into Wednesday evening, and just to our west is where we start to see some of those showers and thunderstorms, and as we head into Thursday, that's when they'll start to move into our area through the morning hours Thursday, and it will stick with us all day Thursday into the evening, the overnight, and all the way into Friday morning. So it's again another great opportunity for some much needed shower chances around the area. The thing is, these are going to be scattered. So I've told you before, this is painting the picture of where rain could happen. It's not saying rain is all over this area. So not everybody's going to get a ton of rain, but we're still getting some much needed shower and thunderstorm activity as we head into the end of the week. Let's look at temperatures for the rest of this week. We get tomorrow up to 70, partly cloudy. We got those storm chances Thursday into Friday. Despite those storm chances, still looking to warm pretty nicely back into the 80s as we head into the weekend. And Saturday's rain seems to have migrated to Sunday. The system slowed down a bit, so we're looking at storm chances Sunday. So your better day to get out and enjoy is going to be on Saturday. And then we've got storm chances for a good portion of next week. And even though it's going to storm each day, or we have those chances of storms each day, our temperatures still remain very warm as we hang out in the lower 80s. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. Authorities searching for 2 missing teens in Oklahoma found 7 bodies, including those of the girls. The sheriff in Okmulgee County, Oklahoma, confirmed the bodies of 14-year-old Ivy Webster and 16-year-old Brittany Brewer were found. Authorities also found the body of 39-year-old Jesse McFadden on the same property. He was scheduled to go to trial today for soliciting sexual conduct with a minor and possession of juvenile pornography. There's no word yet on the identities of the other 4 victims. 1 person is dead after a motorcycle crash in McDonald County, Missouri. The crash happened just before 3 Monday afternoon at Missouri 43 and County Highway O. Authorities say 29-year-old Judah Hendricks of Knoll, Missouri was driving his motorcycle south on Missouri 43 when 27-year-old Haley Hoffman failed to yield to the motorcycle as she turned west onto County Highway O. Hendricks died on the scene. He was wearing a helmet. The Neosho County Police Department and other law enforcement agencies are asking for help finding a suspect they call dangerous. Authorities say 38-year-old James Herbert is wanted for crimes such as vehicle theft, property damage, and fleeing from authorities. They say he's 5'8" with red hair and brown eyes, but they believe he changed his look by shaving or coloring his hair. If you spot him or have information about where he may be, call the police. Federal authorities say 2 hospitals that denied a Joplin woman an emergency abortion broke the law. The investigation covered Freeman Health System in Joplin and the University of Kansas Hospital in Kansas City, Kansas. They say last August, the hospitals refused to provide an abortion to Melissa Farmer. Her water broke early at 17 weeks of pregnancy. The doctor said her fetus would not survive and she was at risk for serious infection or losing her uterus. They wouldn't terminate the pregnancy because a fetal heartbeat was still detectable. Federal law requires doctors to treat patients in emergency situations and trumps those state laws. You can learn more about the investigation and Melissa Farmer's story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A Missouri man learns his sentence for his role in the death of a woman who authorities say was kept in a cage and dismembered. 60-year-old James Phelps will spend life in prison without parole. He entered an Alford plea to first-degree murder, kidnapping, and abandonment of a corpse in the death of a 33-year-old Cassie Rainwater. Timothy Norton is also charged in the case. He faces the same charges and has a hearing tomorrow. As parks become more populated with families and residents, the city of Lamar, Missouri wants to remind that respecting parks can go a long way. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to Lamar Parks and Rec about how clean parks can impact the community.
Park workers at Lamar City Park walked in on a disgusting scene in the park's bathroom. Mud and dirt on the walls, tattered tissue on the floor, soap dispenser in the toilet, all for the park workers to clean up.
We clean the bathrooms daily, especially during the springtime and summer when we have a lot of people in the park. And it's not very often that we have a big mess, but both yesterday and today, there were big messes for him to clean up. And then we also had some vandalism of one of the concession stands.
Vandalism isn't common at the park, but it does have consequences. If the vandalized item is over $750, the consequences could include a felony.
It's off and on. It seems like it does happen more often during the summertime when it's warmed up. People are out walking around. We find teenagers out moving around more at night. You know, the temperatures are getting nicer. They're wanting to get out of their house and do things.
The park workers usually spend an hour cleaning the bathrooms daily, but this mess took half the day to clean.
It's discouraging for us. It doesn't allow those people to have the best possible experience they could have. And it takes extra time away from us doing essential things like weed eating and mowing and weeding the flower beds and all the little things that we need to get done and some bigger projects we want to work on as well.
Police and park workers believe the uptick in vandalism is by the hands of some rowdy teenagers.
Wanting to create a little mischief, probably testing their boundaries, and they don't realize that the effect of things that they're doing have on other people. I said, we just take a lot of pride, and I know our city takes a lot of pride in our parks, so we want to do everything that we can to keep it as nice as possible for all the users of the park. There's a whole lot to do in our park without having to vandalize the bathrooms.
Reporting in Lamar, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Due to labor and cost to clean up the vandalism, the park workers have to put off other things, like getting the pool ready for summer days. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a young lady continues to play in college. We'll meet her in sports. Plus, children as young as 6 months are now getting swimming lessons in hopes it will save their lives. And new technology has the ability to read brain scans. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, the regular season is over and it's time for the playoffs for MIAA softball. The Missouri Southern Lions have earned the number 2 seed in the conference tournament and will face 7th seeded Emporia State in the first round on Wednesday. These two teams split a doubleheader in the regular season. Over the weekend, Southern lost both games of a doubleheader to 5th-ranked Central Oklahoma to finish up their schedule. UCO finished as league champ and is the number 1 seed in the tournament this week. Although Southern fell just short in those games, it gave them confidence heading into this weekend that they can compete with anyone they see from here on out.
Confidence is the first thing that we're going to take from it. We were right there. It was a great ball game. I mean, extra innings, you know, going back and forth, and they've got a great program, and so do we.
We played 2 great games against them, and it could have went either way in that second one, and I think just that says a lot about us and that we can play with anybody, and it's just whoever shows up that game. And, you know, it didn't go in our favor, but I think it showed our team that we can play with anybody and that we have to show up and play like it's our last every game.
The next step in our process for our culture and our program is to get that big win and have that clutch hit. And I know that once we do, the floodgates are going to open. So that's the plan going into this week.
Well, some high school baseball here. The Frontenac Raiders aim to stay undefeated on the road for a CNC doubleheader against Colgan. In Game 1, Frontenac led 15-6 in the bottom of the 4th. The Raiders win Game 1 18-7. After taking Game 1, Frontenac looks to sweep Colgan and win the series, and the Raiders do just that, winning their second game 6-0 over the Panthers. The McDonald County Mustangs pick up a shutout win at home against Carthage. Mustangs beat the Tigers 9-0. Weston Gordon throws a complete game shutout and allows just 2 hits. Destin Dowd comes through with a grand slam for McDonald County. Mustangs are now 15-7 overall, and they've won 11 of their last 13 games. One of the best basketball players in Southwest Missouri signs to continue her career in college. Carthage senior Kiana Yates is headed to the MIAA, signing yesterday to play at Washburn University. Yates has definitely had a decorated career for the Tigers. She leaves Carthage as the program's all-time leading scorer with more than 1,500 total points. She's a 4-time All-District selection and a 3-time All-COC pick. Yates is also 2-time team MVP. Here she is on continuing her career at the next level in Topeka.
They were just very welcoming, both the coaches and the players. Like when I went on my visit there, they were all very friendly, and I don't know, I just like that environment. And I know I'll have to put the work in this summer so I can earn my spot and hopefully playing time. So just seeing where my work ethic takes me.
Still to come, a hunt for Nazi treasure comes to a close, an unsuccessful one at that. Hey, we'll take another look at that warm and wet forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:17 on this Tuesday morning. We're taking a live look at the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline, looking back to the south. We're looking good so far, same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. However, it is on the chilly side yet again for us today. How chilly is it? Well, it's this chilly. We're sitting at 44 in Joplin, feeling like 41 with a north-northwest breeze at about 6 miles an hour. And across the area, it has some pretty cool temperatures. We got 41 Nevada, 39 Iola, 43 Parsons, 41 Chetopa, 37 in Miami, and 43 in Neosho and Carthage. As we get our day started, the winds will pick up yet again, but they won't be as gusty as yesterday. However, elevated fire danger still exists, as we can see these gusts 20, possibly 25 miles an hour. Otherwise, we are sunny again into the upper 50s by late morning, and this time the sun will make a difference. We're going to get a little bit warmer as we go into the mid to upper 60s across the area under those mostly sunny yet breezy skies today. Like yesterday and overnight, winds will calm down again this evening and into the overnight hours, and we will continue to remain clear. And because of that, we will once again have another chilly evening as our temperatures drop back into the lower 40s. Now, we still have that warm up on the way, and we still have the rain chances on the way as well. Both of those things are going to be very welcomed by many of us, I believe. As we head into Thursday morning, we'll start to see some showers and thunderstorms roll into the area, and these will stick with us through all of Thursday, all the way into Friday morning. Now, the showers will keep our temperatures down just a little bit on Thursday, but once the showers and storms clear out by Friday afternoon, we'll actually start to warm up pretty decently as we head later into the day on Friday. And the next system has slowed down just a bit, so what we were expecting is some late day showers on Saturday are now going to be better storm chances as we head into Sunday. So Saturday is going to be a good day to get out and enjoy the weekend weather, because as we head into late overnight Saturday and Sunday morning, more showers and thunderstorms will roll into the area. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. Up to 70 tomorrow, increasing clouds later in the day. Storm chances Thursday into Friday morning. And again, once these clear out Friday, we warm up into the lower 80s. We're going to hang on low mid 80s through the weekend. More storm chances Sunday, and then once we head into next week, more storm chances. So again, we absolutely need this rain, and the other half that at least I like is the fact we're warming up. Now I think this is a bit too warm, but we're now entering May, so it's bound to happen. We're going to hang out in the lower 80s for the majority of next week. We're going to have storm chances Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And the other half of this that's actually quite nice, I think, for everybody is as our daytime temperatures warm up, our overnight lows will follow suit. So we're just about done with these chilly overnights, at least for the next several days, because I don't know about anybody else, but I'm tired of it being May and I'm turning the heat on in my car in the morning. I'd like to just be able to enjoy the drive. Well, children as young as 6 months are taking the plunge with swim instructors, saying lessons for children and babies is one of the best defenses against drowning in backyard pools. Jordan Bowen has more on that story.
Little Hazel is just 15 months old, but she's no stranger to the water. She started swim lessons at just 6 months.
I had no idea that they did it quite this young or the advancement that they got.
Darlene Long's son, DJ, who's 2, has been taking swim lessons since last year after she and her family moved from Nevada into a home with a backyard pool.
He jumps in on his own. He can get the wall on his own. He can dive for sticks. He's completely comfortable in the water.
It's that comfort that Aaron Seal Grandy, owner of Seal Swim School in Pasco and Pinellas counties, says is so important kids have at a young age, especially if they live in a home with a backyard pool.
The more opportunities you give your child in the water with lessons, with understanding and respecting the water, with being around the water, it's important, especially here in Florida.
According to the Florida Department of Children and Families, in 2021, the state hit a record high of 98 child drownings, up from the 69 reported in 2020. The department says most of the deaths occurred in Central Florida, with the average age being 3 years old.
It can happen in seconds. The biggest thing that we can do is put all of the points in place to keep our children safer. Swimming lessons is a huge part of that.
Seal Grandy says she's taught students as young as 4 weeks old, which she says starts with teaching them how to float on their back.
Swimming lessons reduces the rate of drowning by 80%. Barriers around your pools, making sure you have all the gates, the bells, the whistles, all of that around. And then knowing CPR, knowing to keep your gates locked, your doors locked, alarms, whistles, bells, all of it, just to keep those children safer, but always coming back to giving them a chance in the water, and that's giving them swimming lessons.
Of course, safety is key with anything you do. We want to know what your plans are for this summer. Are you going to go swimming, go hiking, take some summer classes, travel, learn a new skill, work? That's on my list. A combination of all of those things, or maybe something else. And we, of course, want to hear from you. Make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, May is National Stroke Awareness Month. Most strokes are caused by a clot in the vessels that feed blood to the brain. The American Stroke Association says up to 60% of all stroke survivors develop memory and thinking problems within a year of their stroke. About 1/3 go on to develop dementia within 5 years. Cognitive impairment is most common with the 2 weeks following a stroke. About 20% of those with mild symptoms usually recover their cognitive function within 6 months. The new technology may help doctors to know what's on your mind. A report published in Nature Neuroscience says new tool is being developed to read a patient's thoughts that uses a functional MRI. The tool will also be able to translate the thoughts into full sentences. Researchers hope to use the technology in the future with patients who have lost the ability to speak from strokes or ALS. The report says the tool can't be used on everyone as it requires 16 hours of participation from those involved in the research. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We've got ourselves another chilly start, but a warmer day ahead of us and rain chances later this week. We'll look at all that when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, Mercy expands into southeast Kansas.
And it's another day for you to have your heat on, and you to have your heat on, and you to have your heat on, because it is chilly, but that warmer weather just around the corner and some rain chances. We'll talk about all that coming up.
Also, get those paintbrushes and head on over to Girard, Kansas. The public library holds a paint night event.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Carrie Worthen.
I'm Chris Warner. Did you have your heat on?
I did. I remote started my vehicle this morning.
Yeah. See, I'm not gonna get. Corinne's our producer says she had her heat on. I'm not going to specifically mention the car I bought, but it has an app, and that's how you do the remote start. But the thing is you have to pay a subscription fee for the app to continue to remote start the car. And that is the silliest thing I have ever seen in my life. It is the 21st century. I shouldn't have to pay to remote start the vehicle. But either way, at least it warms up nicely. And it was great that it warmed up quickly because it is another chilly one across the 4 states. Again, the cameras, they deceive you both in the winter and summer because they don't show you how hot or cold it is. They simply show you, oh, it's outside and there's traffic. And there they are. That's the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline. This is the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. Handful of people starting to get their day started. If you're like me, you'd probably like your day to start probably closer to 7, 8, 9, noon, whatever. Whatever they said in The Wizard of Oz sounds like a pretty good work day to me. What was it? They get up at noon, start to work at 1. They take an hour lunch, and by 2, they're done. So that sounds like a good work day. 44 in Joplin right now. So chilly. 41 is what it feels like. North-northwest breeze at 6. Across the area, even colder than that in some places like Miami at 37. We have 43 in Parsons, 39 in Iola, 41 in Nevada, and 43 in Carthage. Now, we'll still have those gusty winds again today, so we've still got the elevated fire danger, but they'll not be as gusty as yesterday. They're going to be a little more restrained. 20, 25 miles an hour. We're otherwise sunny and a bit warmer. Upper 50s by late morning. We head into the afternoon. Pretty pleasant day, sunny skies, a little bit breezy, temperatures mid to upper 60s, and as we go into the evening, clear skies yet again. Our winds will calm down and we'll start to get a little bit cooler as well, once again dropping back into the lower 40s. There is warmer weather on the way, and we do have some rain chances in our forecast. We'll look at that complete forecast here in a few more minutes. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. Mercy is expanding its healthcare footprint in southeast Kansas. Mercy announced the acquisition of 2 primary care clinics in Pittsburgh. The healthcare provider bought the practices of Dr. Jacqueline Ordinder and Dr. Holly Cranston. Both clinics will stay in their current locations on South Tucker Terrace and Mount Carmel Place. All providers and staff were offered the chance to become Mercy coworkers. The acquisition becomes official and final on May 22nd. A local group is working across state lines to preserve old cemeteries that serve as a final resting place of veterans and elderly individuals. Not Forgotten Barton County, Missouri Cemeteries has made it their mission to protect and maintain Missouri cemeteries, particularly those that have fallen into despair and neglect. The group focuses on cemeteries that are at least 50 years old, with a significant number of veterans or notable individuals buried there.
Those persons once lived, all those persons that are buried there, all those persons have descendants, or most of those persons have descendants that are still living and want to visit the cemetery and place flowers in their memory. And it's pretty hard to do for some of these abandoned cemeteries.
There are 33 abandoned cemeteries in Barton and Crawford County. We'll have more on this in our 6 o'clock show. On Monday, Carthage Intermediate School began measures of academic progress testing. Statewide MAP testing in Missouri measures how well students acquire the skills and knowledge described in the Missouri Learning Standards. Officials with the district say the school has conducted training for teachers to ensure the administrator the tests correctly and set up testing rooms according to protocol.
They have access to them and they can practice with them. The teachers also, like we specifically target our Missouri Learning Standards, which is what the MAP test assesses us on. So we make sure that our students are prepared. We don't want them to be surprised by anything.
The district says state testing is important for measuring student learning throughout the year. It can help teachers plan for future instruction that meets their students' strengths and weaknesses. An old car gets a reserved spot back in Joplin. The 64 Corvette has accompanied murals in the Route 66 mural park in downtown Joplin since 2013. Back in January, it was removed to get a tune-up. On Monday, it was parked in its former spot after some minor repairs and a fresh coat of paint.
There was some dents on it from people rubbing up against it. It is fiberglass, so we sent it to the paint shop back in January, And our local Kenworth dealership put it in the paint bay for us, fixed the dents and the scrapes and repainted it, and it's beautiful. It's all back and ready to go.
Route 66 Memorial Park is at 619 South Main Street on the northeast corner. Wayfinding signs are getting a fresh look in Joplin. New signs are being installed now. The signs depict the city's new branding. The city installed the current signs 9 years ago. The wayfinding system is designed to help guests staying in the Joplin hotels and traveling to various tourist spots in the city.
Same locations as we had before. We had some of the messaging has changed, like we added the Cornell Complex, the new location for the Spiva Center for the Arts, and we did add 2 signs at Downstream Casino pointing towards the Tri-State marker. That's one area that wasn't marked at all in the past, and that is part of Joplin. That's within Joplin city limits.
The city says it should take all week to replace the 39 signs. The Girard, Kansas Public Library gave people a chance to brush up on their art skills with a paint night. Folks were able to come out, get a canvas, and follow step-by-step instructions to create a masterpiece. Officials said the paint night lets people have a night of fun and creativity.
It is a community paint night. This is part of a series of paint nights that we're doing here at the library. Part of what we're doing with the paint nights is offering these as a small fundraiser for the library. So part of the money will come back to the library to purchase additional materials for our patrons.
You could find other events like that on our website at koamnewsnow.com/events. This morning we are discussing swimming lessons and summer plans.
Little Hazel is just 15 months old, but she's no stranger to the water. She started swim lessons at just 6 months. Darlene Long's son DJ, who's 2, has been taking swim lessons since last year after she and her family moved from Nevada into a home with a backyard pool.
According to the Florida Department of Children and Families, in 2021, the state hit a record high of 98 children drownings, up from the 69 reported in 2020. The department says most of the deaths occurred in Central Florida, with the average age being 3 years old.
And of course, safety is a key ingredient into anything that you do this summer, and of course that includes swimming. But that does bring us to our question for you. What are you planning to do safely this summer? So you've got a number of options so far. 50% of you are with me. You're going to work. That's really about the thing you do. And another 50% of you are going to travel. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up on this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Some dogs line up at the vet's office to give blood to their fellow dog.
Plus, nearly 200 Roman coins are found, and the story behind them is a mystery within itself. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Carterville. Topping World Watch. Turkish state television has been broadcasting footage of what it says is where an ISIS leader died in northern Syria. The Turkish government says Turkish intelligence teams carried out the operation that led to his deaths on Saturday. Reports by the Turkish state media says the terror leader Aku Hussein al-Kaishi blew himself up to avoid being captured. Turkey's state-run Anadolu news agencies says al-Kaishi died by detonating a suicide vest as the Turkish team closed in on him at the end of the 4-hour-long operation. A fitting tribute to a huge global star has been unveiled in Norway. Freya, the enormous walrus who captured the hearts of locals, tourists, and fans around the world, is being remembered with a life-size bronze statue after she was controversially euthanized last year.
Almost a year after her death, Freya the walrus is once again lying in the sun. A memorial unveiled over the weekend in Oslo to honour the famous creature who loved to sunbathe, often in inconvenient places for humans. The ceremony took place on a clear day overlooking the water not far from where Freya used to bask in the sun and where she was controversially euthanized. Eric Holm organised an online campaign to build the statue, which cost $25,000, but he says it's the least people can do.
I was very provoked by the way Freya was treated and how her life ended. People were a little too curious and were a little too close. And of course, how the authorities chose to end her life.
Freya was a charming nuisance in Oslo, wriggling onto docks and boats, sagging under her weight to get some raise. A simple pleasure that made her a global star, but that attention would be her downfall. Last August, Norwegian officials said despite warnings, people were getting too close to the 600-kilogram walrus, so she was euthanized. The decision sparked both anger and sadness, with some critics saying it was too rushed, but the government said it would have been too complicated to sedate and move such a large animal. Some people say it's a cautionary tale for humans who get too close to wildlife.
I think that people should show a little more respect for such large animals and not play with them in the water.
A crossing of boundaries that ultimately cost Freya her life. But at least now she's been given a chance to rest in peace. Michael Holmes, CNN.
An official treasure hunt underway in the Netherlands as archaeologists and historians try to recover a stash of jewelry that was looted by Nazis during World War II. The local municipality funding the search in the village in Almeren after maps supposedly show where X marks the spot was published promptly a modern-day treasure hunt. Like many previous attempts, they failed to find any of the loot stashed. A buried treasure discovered in Italy is one of the few hoards of ancient coins ever found intact. Archaeologists spotted the glimmering coins in the Tuscan forest northeast of Livorno in November 2021. They unearthed the 175 coins that had been buried in the terracotta pot. Researchers determined there were silver Roman denarii coins. The coins were dated from around 157 BC up to about 82 BC. According to the archaeologist group, all but 2 were intact in good condition, and those 2 can be restored. With the coronation of King Charles III just days away, Buckingham Palace is planning for the big day. The king will wear the historical pieces of clothing this Saturday, worn by previous monarchs at the past coronations. The vestments were worn as far back as 1821 during coronation services for King George IV. Charles will be crowned by the Archbishop of Canterbury in the coronation chair at Westminster Abbey. In a statement, the palace says reusing the historical items of clothing is being done in the interest of substantially and efficiently. Westminster Abbey will be packed for King Charles III's coronation this weekend. On Monday, Buckingham Palace announced more than 2,200 people will attend. Guests will, of course, include members of the royal family, but representatives from 203 countries will also be on hand. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News 547 on this Tuesday morning. Live look at the MoDOT camera from 20th and Range Line, looking back to the south. We're looking good, but we are chilly, and it is the same situation from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. We're dry, we're clear, we're calm, but we are quite cool. Our camera, 7th and Range Line, showing those clear skies out there. A little more daylight starting to show up. We're at 44 in Joplin, feeling like 41 with that north-northwest breeze at about 6 miles an hour. As we look at temperatures around the area, we got 39 Iola, 45 Chanute, 41 Chetopa, 37 Miami, 45 Neosho, 43 Carthage, and 42 in Lamar. We still have an elevated fire danger today because we could see those gusts still pushing upwards of 20, maybe 25 miles an hour. So again, no outdoor burning. Outside of that, we are going to be sunny and we're a bit warmer as we go into the upper 50s by late morning. We go into the afternoon, we hang on to the breezy and sunny conditions, and we're again a pinch warmer today as we go into the mid to even upper 60s across the area. And again, out to our west, some of you may even start to breach into the lower 70s. However, we'll be clear again tonight, and we're going to be chilly again. We're going to drop back into the lower 40s, and just like yesterday and overnight last night, we got into that situation where the winds do eventually calm back down. And we still have warmer weather on the way, and we still have some rain and thunderstorm chances that we're keeping an eye on as we head toward the end of this week. So we go through our Wednesday, we'll start to see clouds increasing, especially in the evening, and then as we head into our Thursday late morning, we start to see showers, thunderstorms rolling into the area. These showers and storms will keep our temperatures down a little bit, but no more so than what they're going to be today, and they'll last throughout the duration of our Thursday and into our Friday morning. As I've mentioned before, this is not saying rain is all over the state of Missouri. This is where rain could happen. These are going to be scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area, so not everybody getting rain, but most of us will, and most of us, of course, this is much needed rainfall. As we go into Friday and Friday afternoon, the showers and storms will start to clear out, and that actually allows us to warm up quite nicely as we start to approach the 80-degree mark. We'll get a break on Saturday. Before late Saturday overnight, we start to see more showers and thunderstorms into our Sunday as well. So if you've got some outdoor plans, you want to get outside and enjoy Saturday the day to do it, because we have more of that much needed rain on the way. All right, let's take a look at temperatures. Again, near 70 tomorrow, a little cooler Thursday, mid 60s. And we warm up, lower 80s on Friday, mid 80s Saturday, partly cloudy skies, great day to get outside. And then that rain that we really, truly, desperately need starts to kick back in Sunday. We've got rain chances Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. However, these rain chances will not be enough to kick our temperatures down. As you can see, we stay in the lower 80s, and that helps our overnight lows stop being so chilly as well. We'll be back with more after this, but first, here's another live look from Carterville.
Sometimes you need a little help from your friends. The same goes for man's best friend. Amalia Kunznicki tells us some dogs in Michigan are donating blood to help out their fellow canines.
I counted her out, you know. I mean, you really never want to give up hope, but there's the realistic aspect of it. And I never thought I'd ever see her again.
Brad Way's dog Winter was missing for 2.5 weeks. When she was finally found, Way immediately took her to the MSU vet.
When she first went in, she was very glazed over and really out of it.
Winter stayed at the vet hospital for a little over a week, fighting for her life, and MSU canine donor Basil was there to help.
So they help out patients that are recovering from surgery, traumas such as hit by cars or gunshot wounds, if they have immune-mediated diseases or are suffering from cancer.
All of the blood donors belong to people who live in the area or doctors or staff in the vet hospital. In order for dogs to donate blood, they have to be healthy and over 50 pounds.
It's really cool to see your dog's blood going to one of your patients or another patient in the hospital that really needs it. So, you can kind of follow the whole thing through.
Dr. Alyssa Zotto has had blood donor dogs in the past, and when she adopted Basil, she knew she wanted to make her a donor.
There's some things that we can't do, but having, a family member in the household that can make that other difference is really amazing.
Donor dogs come in every 4 to 6 weeks to give blood, and veterinary technician Rose Wall says they barely feel it.
They love the treats, they like the extra time. A lot of times we just play ball afterwards. Most of them love to come in here, so it's a very rewarding part of my job.
Wall says it's also rewarding to see dogs helping out one another. Without Basil's help, Winter wouldn't be back at home with her owner.
According to Michigan State University in 2021, the small animal clinic used 290 units of canine packed blood cells and 83 units of canine plasma. The vet clinic is always looking for more donors because there's always a need for blood. We'll be right back. The saying, say great things, comes in small packages, and this tiny sprinkles loving squirrel is proving just that with hundreds of thousands of followers and views on social media. The little squirrel, Tumbelina, shares her daily life with her followers, and as you can see, she enjoys sweets, especially sprinkles. The tiny squirrel was rescued after her nest was destroyed by NYC Construction. She lives in New York City with her owners, who says she is a part of their family. They say they are happy Tumbleweed is positively impacting the lives of so many viewers. Firefighters in California successfully saved a pair of baby ducklings from a storm drain. Corona City firefighters say the baby ducks fell into the storm drain. Crew members say residents had flagged them down, saying a mother duck was struggling to free her trapped ducklings. Firefighters sprang into action, removing a manhole cover and pulling the ducklings to safety. They reunited with their mom and waddled away.
Well, we've still got that elevated fire danger today because we could see gusts upwards of 20, possibly 25 miles an hour. Outside of that, we will be sunny and a bit warmer into the upper 50s by late morning. We go into the afternoon, still sunny, still breezy, but mid to upper 60s for highs today. And we've got another clear, calm night. Winds will let up as we go into the overnight, and we will be chilly as well, dropping back into the lower 40s. As we go into tomorrow, we're looking at 70, partly cloudy. We had storm chances on Thursday into Friday morning, but temperatures will begin to rise. We're going to start hanging out in the 80s. Saturday, great day to get outside and enjoy because it's going to be mostly sunny, mid 80s, and then we've got more much needed rain chances Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as we head into next week with those thunderstorm chances. However, despite those rain chances, we're going to stay mild into the lower 80s, and that helps our overnight lows warm up as well, so they won't be so chilly the next few days. We'll be back with more right after this.
Right now at 6, park workers in Lamar walk in on an unexpected and unwelcome surprise while cleaning the park.
We've got ourselves another chilly start on our Tuesday morning. We've got rain chances and warmer weather on the way. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Also, need to know where to go in Joplin? Check out the city's wayfinding signs and their fancy new facelifts.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Carrie Worthen.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 6 o'clock on this Tuesday morning, downhill run to Friday has commenced, and it's another chilly start for us out there today. It's not very May-like at all, but very May-like temperatures are on the way. Let's take a look at the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline, looking back to the south. So far, so good this morning, and the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Also, so far, so good as we get a little more daylight out there this morning. And you can see from our camera at 7th and Rangeline, we've got those clear skies out there, but it is chilly. We're sitting at 44 in Joplin. Feels like 44 though, because the winds let up a bit, west-northwest at 3 miles an hour. And it is, again, chilly across the region. You can see these wind arrows still out of the north. Now, they're going to shift later on this week, and that's going to be a good thing. 37 Iola Parsons, 40 Chetopa, 37 as well as in Miami, 45 Neosho, 43 Carthage, and 42 in Lamar. As we get our day started, still have that elevated fire danger because our gusts today, not as strong as yesterday, but still pushing upwards of 20, maybe an occasional gust to 25. Otherwise, we are sunny today. Temperatures into the upper 50s by late morning, and we'll be a bit warmer today as well as we see highs go into the mid to upper 60s under those sunny and breezy skies across the area. We will remain clear as we head into this evening, and we'll also be chilly again. Winds will calm down through the evening and overnight, and we'll drop back down to a pretty chilly 42 degrees for us. As we look ahead, though, the warmer weather will eventually get here. It's a bit warmer tomorrow, 70, mid-60s Thursday, thunderstorm chances. Thunderstorm chances into Friday morning, but check out what happens after the storms into the lower 80s. Great day Saturday, mid-80s, and more much-needed rain as we kick off the next work week, and temperatures remaining in the lower 80s. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. A motorcycle crash in McDonald County takes the life of a Knoll, Missouri man. The crash happened just before 3 Monday afternoon at Missouri 43 and County Highway O. Authorities say 29-year-old Judah Hendricks of Knoll, Missouri was driving his motorcycle south on Missouri 43 when 27-year-old Haley Hoffman failed to yield to the motorcycle as she turned west on County Highway O. Hendricks died on the scene. He was wearing a helmet. Authorities searching for 2 missing teens in Oklahoma found 7 bodies, including those of the girls. The sheriff in Okmulgee County, Oklahoma, confirmed the bodies of 14-year-old Ivy Webster and 16-year-old Brittany Brewer were found. Authorities also found the body of 39-year-old Jesse McFadden on the same property. He was scheduled to go to trial today for soliciting sexual conduct with a minor and possession of juvenile pornography. There's no word yet on the identities of the other 4 victims. A Missouri man learns his sentence for his role in the death of a woman who authorities say was kept in a cage and dismembered. 60-year-old James Phelps will spend life in prison without parole. He entered an Alford plea to first-degree murder, kidnapping, and abandonment of a corpse in the death of 33-year-old Cassidy Rainwater. Timothy Norton is also charged in the case. He faces the same charges and has a hearing today. Federal authorities say 2 hospitals that denied a Joplin woman an emergency abortion broke the law. The investigation covered Freeman Health System in Joplin and the University of Kansas Hospital in Kansas City, Kansas. They say last August, the hospitals refused to provide an abortion to Melissa Farmer. Her water broke early at 17 weeks of pregnancy. Doctors said her fetus would not survive and she was at risk for serious infection or losing her uterus. They wouldn't terminate the pregnancy because of a fetal heartbeat was still detectable. Federal law requires doctors to treat patients in emergency situations and trumps those state laws. You can learn more about the investigation and Melissa Farmer's story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Park workers at Lamar City Park walked in on a disgusting scene in the park's bathroom. Mud and dirt on the walls, tattered tissue on the floor, soap dispenser in the toilet, all for the park workers to clean up. The park workers usually spend an hour cleaning the bathrooms daily, but the mess took half the day to clean. Parks and Rec wants to remind you, as the warmer weather days arrive, a clean park is the city's pride.
We just take a lot of pride, and I know our city takes a lot of pride in our parks, so we want to do everything that we can to keep it as nice as possible for all the users of the park. There's a whole lot to do in our park without having to vandalize the bathrooms.
Due to the labor and cost to clean up the vandalism, the park workers have to put off other things like getting the pool ready for summer days. A dust storm in south central Illinois yesterday morning caused a fatal highway pileup of dozens of cars. At least 6 people were killed as a result of the crashes, and more than 30 people from ages 80 to were taken to hospital with injuries. Jared Hill has more.
Unknown injury, I-55 northbound at the 76.
A deadly two-way pileup on an Illinois interstate yesterday after a dust storm made it almost impossible for drivers to navigate the road.
The conditions have to be just right to have a situation like this.
The rare, thick dust storm is believed to be the result of excessive winds blowing dirt from nearby farm fields. 2 semi-trucks caught fire in the collisions, adding thick smoke to the brownout conditions.
Like somebody put a brown blanket in front of your windshield. Couldn't see nothing, you know.
Illinois State Police said 30 commercial vehicles and 40 to 60 passenger vehicles were involved in the crashes.
My heart goes out to anybody that found themselves involved in this particular situation.
More than 30 agencies responded to the crash scene, with crews working through the day and night to remove the roughly 2-mile-long stretch of burnt and mangled vehicles. Jared Hill, CBS News.
That portion of the interstate is expected to reopen today. 2 area hospitals say at least 24 patients from the collisions have been discharged. The National Transportation Safety Board said it is aware of the situation, but as of last night, no decisions have been made as to whether it will investigate. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Wayfinding signs are getting a fresh look in Joplin. New signs are being installed. The signs respect the city's new branding and will replace existing signs. The current signs have been in place for the past 9 years. The wayfinding system is designed to help guests staying in the Joplin hotels and traveling to various tourism spots in the city.
We find that a lot of people will plan with paper. They'll use GPS when they're going, but yet a good wayfinding sign helps them to finally make their destination in town.
The city says it should take all week to replace the 39 signs. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the consequences of legal confusion.
treating pregnancy complications under Florida's strict abortion laws. I'm Cristian Benavides with one woman's devastating story.
Plus, summertime means summer sun, and that can prove lethal. We hear from experts on the dangers of melanoma and how you can protect yourself. And Chris returns with another look at your forecast and how long the 4 states can expect these beautiful spring days to hang around before the rain returns. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back. But first, here's a look from Carterville, Missouri. Topping Nation Watch, authorities are hoping a $80,000 reward will help locate a Texas man who allegedly shot his neighbors after they asked him to stop firing off rounds in his yard. Officials said during a press conference Sunday that their search has yielded 0 leads so far. Authorities say there were over 200 officers searching for Francisco Orpias, going door to door asking neighbors for any information that will lead to his arrest. FBI Houston Special Agent Smith James employed people in the community to help forwarded the information. Federal, state, and local officials are searching for 2 inmates who escaped from a Virginia jail, including a man who's suspected of being involved in the murder of a North Carolina deputy, according to authorities. Alder Martin Solito, 26, and Bruce Callahan, 44, escaped over the weekend from the Piedmont Regional Jail in Farmville, Virginia. That's according to the Prince Edward County Sheriff's Department. The U.S. Marshals are leading the manhunt, according to the source familiar with the investigation. Florida's restrictive abortion laws are causing concern among some physicians that life-saving care for the high-risk patients will no longer be available. Christine Belides spoke with one woman who rare pregnancy complications almost cost her her life, a day after she says she was denied an abortion.
It's really hard to look at.
Anya Cook has stuffed animals in a wardrobe for the baby daughter she was expecting.
She was a real fighter up until the moment I delivered her.
That happened in the bathroom of a hair salon when she was just 16 weeks pregnant.
I heard my daughter. I heard her hit the water.
Bleeding uncontrollably, Cook was rushed to a hospital and almost died.
How much blood had you lost? Half the blood in my body.
Cook had been in a different hospital the day before when her water broke. There she was diagnosed with a premature rupture of the membrane that put her at risk for developing a deadly infection. She was given an antibiotic, told to follow up with her obstetrician and come back if symptoms worsened.
The fetus will not survive, and you're still telling me I have to leave?
That hospital told CBS News they followed instructions from Cook's OBGYN, but Cook says the ER doctor told her he couldn't do more because of Florida's 15-week ban on abortion.
I just don't understand. You already go through so much through this process of IVF. Now I have to fight the law.
Up until recently, Florida had long been considered a safe haven for abortion rights in the South.
How much risk is enough risk to end a pregnancy?
Dr. Karen Harris, an OBGYN, testified in front of Florida's legislature against a new, even more restrictive 6-week ban on abortion.
It is a very sad state of affairs when physicians need to consult the laws and penal code before we consult the medical textbooks.
Anya and her husband continue their journey to parenthood, hoping to one day welcome a child. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Coconut Creek, Florida.
The 15-week ban is currently tied up in the Florida courts. If upheld, it would trigger the 6-week ban quietly signed into law last month. Proponents of that say it does have some expectations for situations where mother's life is at risk. The Republican co-sponsor of the bill declined our request for interview. Writers in Hollywood are stepping away from the computer screens and getting ready to walk the picket lines. More than 11,000 members of the Writers Guild of America are set to go on strike today for the first time since 2007. The union officially called for a strike after it failed to reach an agreement with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers Monday. Writers have been trying to reach a new contract with studios as the industry shifts more into streaming. The strike means production of many television shows could come to a halt immediately, while the start of the new seasons of other shows may be delayed later this year. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris' look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves another chilly but clear day ahead of us and a bit breezy. We'll take a look at that full forecast when the warm weather gets here and those rain chances when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:18, time for some weather trivia. And with the incoming rain, we figured we ask a rain-related question. This one should be pretty simple. During which of these phases of the water cycle would you see rainfall? Is it evaporation, sublimation, condensation, or precipitation? We'll take a look at that answer here in just a moment. But first, MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking back to the south, looking pretty good so far this morning. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Getting a little more daylight out there as the sun continues to slowly climb into the sky. And as you can see, these skies are completely clear. However, it is still chilly. We're sitting at 44 in Joplin with a west-northwest breeze at about 3 miles an hour. As we look at temperatures across the region, they look about like this. We got 37 Iola, 40 Neodesha, 37 in Parsons, 40 Chitopa, another 37 in Miami, 45 Neosho, 43 Carthage, and 42 in Lamar. As we get our day started, we still have that elevated fire danger because we could still see wind gusts upwards of 20 and maybe an occasional gust to 25. So again, no outdoor burning today. Other than that, we are sunny, we are dry. We're going to be into the upper 50s by late morning. We're going to be a bit warmer today as well, as we see our afternoon highs in the mid to upper 60s, and we'll hold on to those sunny skies and breezy conditions through the afternoon and into the evening hours. As we go into late evening and overnight, the winds calm down again. We still remain clear though, not a cloud in sight, and we get chilly again as well as we drop back down into the lower 40s. All right, we look down the road. Today, tomorrow, not too bad, but as we go into tomorrow evening, we're going to start to see clouds increase across the area, and here we are at 6, and here are those clouds increasing, and that is ahead of our first round of showers and thunderstorms as we head into Thursday morning. So here we go. They're out to our west, and they very quickly begin to evolve into our area. These will be scattered, but enough of them that many of us will get in on the shower and thunderstorm activity. And this activity will last with us all through our Thursday. Here we are at 6 o'clock Thursday, still seeing some showers and thunderstorms. We go overnight and into 6 a.m. Friday, more showers and thunderstorms. So very much needed rain out there, and I know a lot of folks are looking forward to more rain because they need it and they're going to get it. And this isn't the only round of rain that we have. Here's this low pressure system. You can see the spin out here. So as it gets closer, it switches our breeze out of the south. So once the showers and storms clear out Friday, we actually start to warm up, and we're going to get into the lower 80s by Friday afternoon. Let's take a quick look at the answer to our question. We'll talk about round 2 of rain and storms. So during which of these phases of the water cycle would you see rainfall? Well, if you happen to pick D, precipitation, you would be correct. And precipitation, of course, occurs after water condenses in the atmosphere, and then the droplets get heavy enough that they fall down to the ground as rain. All right. Mid-60s Thursday, near 70 tomorrow, by the way. Thunderstorm chances into Friday morning, low 80s. Saturday, if you've got outdoor plans, best day to do it is Saturday. Then we head into next week, and we see more shower and thunderstorm chances Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday across the area. So more much-needed rain. But the best part about these rain chances is the fact that our temperatures will stay mild as we go into the lower 80s, and our overnight lows will be mild as well. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, an analysis of more than 50 studies showed depression symptoms for kids and teens increased during the pandemic, especially among girls and those with higher income backgrounds. Symptoms of anxiety also increased slightly. The review involved more than 40,000 young people in 12 countries. Researchers at Yale University have found young women who have had a heart attack are more likely to end up back in the hospital in the following year compared to men of the same age. The most common causes are a second heart attack or chest pain. The average age of those who experienced a heart attack was 47, and 70% identified as Caucasian. A study out of Columbia University finds better access to mental health care is associated with a lower risk of suicide. The researchers created a map of all physicians and therapists in the country, helping them determine residents' access to care, and then compared the data to suicide rates. It showed areas with shorter travel times and more providers were tied to reduce risk of suicide. With warmer months ahead, a new survey finds more than half of Americans are not concerned about developing skin cancer, even though they may have an elevated risk. That's why doctors used yesterday, Melanoma Monday, to raise awareness. Skylar Henry reports.
Rachel Ferris went to the dermatologist to check a rash on her stomach. She left the exam with a diagnosis she never saw coming.
I was going for a rash, didn't think that I was going to come out, being told that I had stage 1 melanoma.
The 28-year-old grew up as a competitive swimmer and visited tanning salons before meets. Without a family history of skin cancer, she never thought of that ultraviolet exposure as a risk for melanoma.
Sun exposure in tanning beds is what caused it. I just had a very low threshold for what my body could take.
Dermatologist Maral Kabirian-Skelsey says skin cancer is on the rise, with about 200,000 cases of melanoma each year. It's the deadliest form, but treatable if caught early. The American Academy of Dermatology says the best prevention is wearing sunscreen and sun protective clothing and watching for changes to your skin.
If you have a spot on your skin that has looked the same your whole life, and suddenly the edges might look different, or the color changes, if the size changes, that's an important factor. But in darker skin types, melanoma can be diagnosed often very late, and it appears in areas that are not necessarily sun exposed.
After having 8 cancerous spots removed, Ferris likes to spread the word.
Friends tell me they're going on a beach vacation. I'm like, wear your sunscreen.
An ounce of prevention that could save a life. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Studies show using tanning beds before the age of 20 can increase your chances of developing melanoma by 47%. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a pretty decent day shaping up. We've got the mostly clear skies as the sun rises. Another chilly one for us. We're at 44 in Joplin with a west-northwest breeze at about 3 miles an hour. And across the area, again, it's on the cool side for sure. 37 in Miami, Iola, 38 Parsons, 39 in Pittsburgh, 42 in Lamar, Carthage, and 44 in Neosho. Now, we still have the elevated fire danger for today because our winds will still gust upwards of 20, could see an occasional gust to 25, so no outdoor burning. Aside from the wind, we are sunny and much warmer. Well, not much warmer, but better than we were. Upper 50s by late morning. Highs today pushing into the mid to upper 60s, some of us even into the lower 70s under those sunny skies with the breezy conditions. We go into the evening, the winds calm down, we remain clear, and we have another chilly night ahead of us back into the lower 40s. We have warmer weather and rain on the way, and we'll take another look at that forecast when we come back.
Right now at 6:30, KOAM's Shagun Bamadelli introduces us to an interstate crew that works to protect and preserve the final resting place for those who protected and served.
And we've got another chilly start for us, but we're going to be sunny and a bit warmer with rain chances on the way. We'll talk about all that coming up.
Also, an iconic muscle car gets a tune-up and a fresh coat of paint before regaining its rightful place on Route 66.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Carrie Worthen.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's now another chilly day for us, and we've got at least a couple more of those on the way. However, our overnight lows are going to improve, our daytime highs are going to improve, and our rain chances are going to improve. Now, I know there are some of you out there that you don't want the rain, but unfortunately, we really need it. We have a lot of ag workers, a lot of farms in our area. They need this rain because they are extraordinarily vital to everyday things that we take for granted, and they are wishing for this rain, they are hoping for this rain, and they are going to get more of this rain. All right, MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline. Looking good. We got the sunny skies coming out. Nice start to the day. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Again, albeit a bit on the chilly side. Beautiful sunrise, nice colors in the sky. We're at 44 though in Joplin. West-northwest breeze at 3. And across the area, again, a pretty cool start for us. 37 Miami, 39 Chetopa, 42 Independence, 41 in Chanute, 39 Pittsburgh, 42 Carthage, and 44 in Neosho. Still have the elevated fire danger. Wind gusts today upwards of 20, maybe an occasional gust to 25. Otherwise sunny, a little bit warmer into the upper 50s by late morning. And our highs today, mid to upper 60s. Some of us may even reach the lower 70s under sunny skies. We'll hold on to the clear skies tonight, and we'll be again chilly down in the low 40s, and the winds will again subside for us as we go into the overnight hours. We're up to 70 tomorrow, increasing clouds later in the day ahead of thunderstorm chances Thursday into Friday morning. Mid 60s Thursday, then we get into the 80s, and we're going to hold there. We got the rain Thursday, Friday, and then we've got more rain chances Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, but all the while keeping our temperatures warm into the lower 80s and our overnight lows much milder. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. On Monday, Missouri Governor Mike Parsons announced grants for more than 100 Missouri schools aimed at improving safety measures. That includes security upgrades, bleeding control kits, and automatic external defibrillators. Several local schools are receiving funds. Carthage and Webb City Schools districts are both receiving $400,000. East Newton and Seneca will both get $200,000. Lamar School District is getting $150,000, and just under $100,000 is going to Sarcoxy. On Monday, Carthage Immediate School began measures of academic progress testing. Statewide map testing in Missouri measures how well students acquire the skill and knowledge described in the Missouri Learning Standards. Officials with the district say the school has conducted training for teachers to ensure the administrator the test correctly and set up testing rooms according to protocol.
They have access to them and they can practice with them. The teachers also, like we specifically target our Missouri Learning Standards, which is what the MAP test assesses us on. So we make sure that our students are prepared. We don't want them to be surprised by anything.
The district says state testing is important for measuring students' learning throughout the year. It can help teachers plan for future instruction that meets their students' strengths and weaknesses. Mercy is expanding its healthcare footprint in Southeast Kansas. Mercy announced that acquisition of 2 primary care clinics in Pittsburgh. The healthcare provider bought the practices of doctors Jacqueline Orender and Holly Crankston. Both clinics will stay in their current locations on South Tucker Terrace and Mount Carmel Place. All providers and staff were offered the chance to become Mercy coworkers. The acquisition becomes official and final on May 22nd. A local group is working across state lines to preserve old cemeteries that serve as a final resting place of veterans and elderly individuals. KOAM's Jugun Babadeli has more.
The mission of Not Forgotten Barton County, Missouri cemeteries is to protect and maintain cemeteries, particularly those that are at least 50 years old and have fallen into disrepair.
Because it's history and it's people's loved ones. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. And not only that, there's some Civil War veterans buried in a lot of these different cemeteries.
A local genealogist says these cemeteries can preserve lots of information needed to track a loved one.
Those persons once lived, all those persons that are buried there, all those persons have descendants, or most of those persons have descendants that are still living and want to visit the cemetery and place flowers in their memory. And it's pretty hard to do for some of these abandoned cemeteries.
Some cemeteries face the threat of erasement.
There's some that's been bulldozed in Barton County and Crawford County. Then there's some that's people used it for animals, like pasture for like cows and different things, and the animals have just destroyed the cemetery, the headstones, and people just don't take care of them.
Although the headstones are still visible, most cemeteries this group is saving are covered with grass and bushes.
We would like to get them listed as historical preservation and get them preserved and protected so that like later on they will have somebody that can be able to maintain them all the time, and they will be able to be upkept.
In Barton County, Shagunbam Delay, KOAM News.
The group says there are 33 abandoned cemeteries in Barton and Crawford County. An old car gets a spot back in Joplin. The 64 Corvette has accompanied murals in the Route 66 mural park in downtown Joplin since 2013. Back in January, it has been a way to get some work done on it. On Monday, it was installed back in its former spot after some minor repairs and now has a fresh coat of paint.
Back in 2013, when we put Mural Park in there, we were looking for things to get people to stop on Route 66, spend more time downtown, spend more time in Joplin, and it's proven to be that. It's a very valuable asset for us.
Route 66 Mural Park is at 619 South Main Street on the northeast corner. The Girard, Kansas Public Library gave people a chance to brush up on their art skills with a paint night. Folks were able to come out, get a canvas, and follow step-by-step instructions to create a masterpiece. Officials say the paint night lets people have a night of fun and creativity.
It is a community paint night. This is part of a series of paint nights that we're doing here at the library. Part of what we're doing with the paint nights is offering these as a small fundraiser for the library. So part of the money will come back to the library to purchase additional materials for our patrons.
You can find other events like that on our website, koamnewsnow.com/events. That's a look at our top news stories coming up on this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. How severe weather affects your dinner table.
Extreme weather is damaging crops and leading to higher food prices. I'm Cristian Benavides with how this could become the new normal.
We've got another beautiful day shaping up for us across the area. A bit breezy again, but a little bit warmer. We'll talk about that and the incoming rain chances. But first, here's another live look from Carterville. We'll be right back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is warning that the U.S. could default on its debt as early as June 1st if Congress doesn't act. In a letter to lawmakers yesterday, Yellen said that, quote, waiting until the last minute to suspend or increase the debt limit can cause serious harm to the economy. House Republicans passed a bill last week to raise the debt ceiling in exchange for drastic spending cuts, but that's expected to go nowhere in the Senate. The president has said he will not negotiate on the full faith and credit of the United States. You could have quicker travel times thanks to new moves by the Federal Aviation Administration. The organization is creating 169 direct airline routes across the East Coast. The shorter distances will help to cut down on travel time. That's 40,000 miles less of travel time that will be done annually. Traffic controllers will also benefit from the change during bad weather, since there will be fewer flights, which will increase safety during those times. All of this comes at a time when the FAA is dealing with staffing shortages, especially with traffic controllers. And General Mills is recalling some of its gold medal flour because of possible salmonella contamination. The company is recalling 2, 5, and 10-pound bags of gold medal unbleached and bleached all-purpose flour with a better if used by date of March 27th and 28th, 2024. If you have any in your cupboard, you are urged to throw it away. Drought, hurricanes, and heavy rain have hurt farms around the world, and now consumers are paying it forward at the grocery store. Christian Benavides explains.
So see how easy that came off? And see how that sort of got a little decay in it there?
Earlier this year, we talked to John Barbin, a fourth-generation farmer in Florida, where storms and crop disease have led to a shortage of oranges.
The trees have started dropping fruit prematurely, and the quality of the juice is starting to decline.
That is pushing prices for orange juice higher. In India, rain hurt sugarcane crops, sending sugar futures soaring. Floods earlier this year in California's Salad Bowl devastated all kinds of crops, from lettuce to strawberries, and now produce costs more.
Is this a sort of the new normal with these climate events that are happening worldwide?
Sadly, yes. So I think this is the unfortunate, harsh reality of today's world.
Professor Patrick Penfield is a supply chain expert at Syracuse University. He says crop issues in the Midwest led to higher feed costs for ranchers, and many are now raising fewer cattle.
Now you're going to start seeing, meat supply come down.
However, extreme weather may have provided one benefit. All that rain in California that damaged crops also helped fill the state's reservoirs, running low after years of drought.
And now the farmers in the next planting season will be able to tap that water.
And that should help bring produce prices back down later this year. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris, another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves another sunny, somewhat warmer day, but we still have that chilly start. Beautiful sunrise, though, out there. We're sitting at 44 in Joplin, clear skies, west-northwest breeze at about 3. Across the area, again, chilly, 42 Pittsburgh, 41 Chanute, 38 Neosho, Shea Parsons, 39 in Miami, 44 Neosho, not Neosho. There are no oceans around here, unfortunately. 42 in Carthage. As we get our day started, still have that elevated fire danger. So our winds today could gust upwards of 20, maybe an occasional gust to 25. Otherwise, we are sunny and into the upper 50s by late morning, so a little bit warmer than what we were yesterday. We'll have another complete look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes, and we've made it past Monday. So as we've mentioned, it's Tuesday. It's a downhill run to Friday now. So that's a great reason to celebrate with some birthdays and anniversaries. But before we get to any of that celebrating, let's check out what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony Nicole. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Oprah reveals the latest selection to her book club, and we are going to talk to the author. Plus, actors Lee Michelle and Miles Frost will be here to announce some of this year's Tony nominations. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Tuesday birthdays in the 4 states, and we're going to start in Pittsburgh with Ari Jackson celebrating number 4. Happy birthday.
Next, we have Chloe Sestarkis. I mispronounced that, I'm pretty sure. But Chloe, happy birthday. You turned 12 from Arma.
And over in Fredonia, we've got Cadence Compton celebrating number 15. A very happy birthday to you, Cadence.
And next we have out of Chanute, Emma Koister turning 20.
And Michael Bullard down in Neosho celebrating number 31. Says happy birthday from Kennedy, Chanel, and Dad.
Next we have Donna Gillard from Girard, Kansas. Happy birthday, Donna.
And Mike Troth over in Pittsburgh celebrating a birthday today. It says his grandkids love him. And I'd have to say that that is true based on this photo. Happy birthday, Mike.
Next we have Kathleen Stroud turning 68 from Frontenac.
And our neighbors in Crestline, Roger Swaney celebrating birthday number 71. Happy birthday, Roger.
And then Henrietta York turning 97 from Joplin. She's a resident at Spring River Christian Village.
All right, talk about a milestone. Happy birthday, Henrietta, and to all of you on our list. And of course, we love celebrating with you, and I suspect you probably love celebrating with us. If you'd like to, Carrie, what do they need to do?
They can go to our, they can submit their birthday photos to birthdays with us at KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You get great deals from local businesses, and you get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So make sure you take time to sign up for that birthday club today. All right, let's take a look here. We've got the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline. You can see the sun coming up, got those long shadows, need the sun visor, also need the heat this morning because it is a bit chilly. We take a look from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, plentiful sunshine out there as well. And from our camera at 7th and Rangeline, there comes the sun. There it is, beautiful sunrise this morning, but again, a bit chilly. 44 in Joplin, west-northwest breeze at about 3. Across the area, again, another chilly start for us. We got a couple more of these on the horizon before that starts to change. 43 in Fort Scott, Iola, 41 Chanute and Chatopa, 39 Miami, 44 Neosho, and 42 in Carthage. Still have that elevated fire danger day, as we've been mentioning. We have the wind gusts upwards of 20, maybe a few gusts to 25, so do not do any outdoor burning. Otherwise, sunny and a bit warmer into the upper 50s by late morning. And that warming trend continues into this afternoon as we look at temperatures pushing mid to upper 60s. Some of us may even get into the lower 70s under these gorgeous sunny skies out there. We head into this evening. We'll hold on to the clear skies and the winds will calm down. Temperatures, of course, calm down as well. We have another pretty cool one out there as we drop back down to the lower 40s once again. We're going to make it up to about 70 tomorrow, increasing clouds in the evening. And by Thursday, we got scattered thunderstorm chances Thursday into Friday morning, mid-60s Thursday. Then we get into the 80s, and the 80s are going to stick with us for a while. We get a break in the action Friday afternoon. That's what allows us to warm up. Hanging out into the mid-80s Saturday, beautiful day. If you have outdoor plans, Saturday's the day to do it. Then thunderstorm chances return. Much needed rain chances here for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as we head into next week. However, even with the rain, temperatures remain quite warm into the lower 80s. And of course, with it being warm in the afternoon, that allows our overnight lows to get to a much more manageable level as well. Well, coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14, we've got the story of a special friendship and three-point shots. Tyler Keano, a special needs man from California, picked up basketball as a way to cope during the pandemic, but it wasn't until he started working with Eli Goldstein that his game and their friendship went to another level. The duo call themselves Strong in Able on Instagram, and you can see for yourself why they have 26,000 followers when the KOAM Morning News passes the ball to Fox 14 at 7.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Missouri man learns his sentence for his role in the death of a woman who authorities say was kept in a cage and dismembered. 60-year-old James Phelps will spend life in prison without parole. He entered an Alford plea to first-degree murder, kidnapping, and abandonment of a corpse in the death of 33-year-old Cassidy Rainwater. A motorcycle crash takes the life of a Knoll, Missouri man. The crash happened just before 3 Monday afternoon at Missouri 43 and County Highway O. Authorities say 29-year-old Judah Hendricks of Knoll, Missouri was driving his motorcycle south on Missouri 43 when 27-year-old Haley Hoffman failed to yield to the motorcycle as she turned west on the County Highway O. Hendricks died on the scene. He was wearing a helmet. Mercy announced the acquisition of 2 primary care clinics in Pittsburgh. The healthcare provider bought the practices of doctors Jacqueline Orinder and Holly Cranston. Both clinics will stay in their current locations on South Tucker Terrace and Mount Carmel Place. The acquisition becomes official and final on May 22nd. Wayfinding signs are getting a fresh look in Joplin. New signs are being installed now. The sign depicts the city's new branding. The city installed the current signs 9 years ago. The wayfinding system is designed to help guests staying in the Joplin hotels and traveling to various tourism spots in the city. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
We still got that elevated fire danger today. Winds gusting up to 20, maybe an occasional gust to 25. Otherwise sunny and warmer, mid to upper 60s, maybe even some lower 70s. We'll hang on to clear skies as we head into the evening hours, and winds will calm down overnight as well. But that doesn't stop us from being chilly. Another night in the lower 40s. We're going to be a pinch warmer tomorrow, 70, partly cloudy. Then we've got thunderstorm chances Thursday into Friday morning, warm into the 80s through the end of the week and the start of next week with more storm chances Sunday and Monday.
Coming up today at noon, we're making crispy cheddar bites in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. How toxic synthetic chemicals known as PFAs are winding up in everything from our water and food supply to cosmetics. That's ahead on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission hits the studio with a recipe for healthy Heart Fiesta Lime Chicken Tacos and Santa Fe Bean Salad, just in time for Cinco de Mayo.
Plus, we want to know what you are doing this summer. That's our morning question for you. That's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you here today at noon.